Hi, my name's Andrew Urich, and I teach in the management department. And about 10 years ago, a big corporation asked me if I was interested in doing ethics training for their company because I was teaching business ethics on campus in Stillwater. And my first thought was, I get very uncomfortable standing up in society and talking about ethics, because did you ever notice in our society, people who do stand up and use themselves as an example and say, I'm an ethical person, I know what's right, I know what's wrong, you should be ethical just like me. These people tend to end up embarrassed, disgraced, or arrested. So I thought to myself, I don't want to tempt fate. And actually, when I went down to try out for this job, I said, if you're looking for someone who's gonna hold themselves out to be the perfect example and tell people what the penalty is, then I'm not doing it. For two reasons. One, I don't want to tempt fate. And two, it doesn't work. Telling people what to do and telling them what the penalty is has no impact whatsoever on ethical behavior. Some of you are probably familiar with the DARE program. DARE program involves uniformed police officers going around schools and telling kids not to use drugs. Well, the DARE program has been found to be 100% ineffective. It doesn't work at all. And if you think about it, who thought this up? Think back to high school. Who's the last person in the world drug users would listen to and drug users in high school would listen to? And the answer is uniformed police officer. So the question is, what does work? And what works is awareness. And awareness is how we change our behavior. I don't know if you've ever had the pleasure of going to marriage counseling, but if you haven't, let me explain how it works. You go to marriage counseling, you complain about your spouse until it dawns on you, this is partially my fault. You become more charming and the relationship gets better. But it's not until you get awareness that your behavior changes. So for ethics, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to tell some stories, do some examples, and we're going to get people to think. Because what research shows, and one of my colleagues at OSU has spent his career researching morals and ethics in the workplace, his conclusion is most people's ethical analysis goes something like this. I'm an ethical person, therefore everything I do is ethical. And what that does is that causes us not to think about it. It's the opposite of awareness. So through these stories, exercises, discussions, fun times, we will cause ourselves to wonder, worry, and doubt. And that, I think, is what is the essence of being ethical. We don't rationalize, we don't talk ourselves into things, we wonder, worry, and doubt. And we also end with, instead of using our gut instinct or our following our conscience, we end up with actually 8 factors to consider in making ethical decisions. So I know people are thinking to themselves, who wants to sit in a room and talk about ethics? But this is actually one of the more funny, entertaining programs that I do, and I think you'll realize you'll have a good time, and it really does have a good message. Wonder, worry, and doubt is the key to making ethical decisions and taking ethical actions.